Hi, first graders. It is time for Magic Tree House. We are on book number 11, Lions at Lunchtime. So Jack and Annie are in Africa right now. Let's see if I can find a picture for you. And when we last left them, Annie saw some animals that she wanted to go try and help cross the river. But Jack heard her shouting for help. So we are on chapter number 4, Mud Bath. Jack looked over the edge of the riverbank. Annie had fallen into a pool of mud near the water. The thick black mud was up to her chest. "I slipped," she said. "It feels like quicksand." Jack threw down his backpack and got on his knees. "Be careful," said Annie. "You don't want to slip too." Jack pointed to a tangle of old tree roots sticking out of the bank. "Grab those," he said. Annie reached for the roots. "Too far. I'm sinking." She was sinking. The mud was up to her neck. "Hold on." Jack looked around wildly. He saw a fallen tree branch near the riverbank. He raced to pick it up and carried it back to Annie. Only her head and arms stuck out of the top of the mud now. Jack held out the branch, and Annie grabbed for it. "Hold tight," said Jack. "I'll grab you over the roots." Annie grabbed onto the branch, and Jack started pulling. "I'm still sinking," Annie wailed. The mud was up to her chin. "Come on," said Jack. "You can do it. I know you can do it. Try. Just then, Jack heard a splash. He looked up. On the other side of the wide river, a wildebeest had jumped into the water. Another one jumped, and then another. They were headed right towards Jack and Annie. "Hold on tight," said Jack, and he pulled the stick again. Annie moved a tiny bit. "Hey, Jack, on the moon it felt like I weighed 10 pounds, said Annie, "and in this mud it feels like I weigh a ton." "Concentrate, Annie," said Jack, trying not to slip. "I am." The lead wildebeests were halfway across, swimming towards them. Many more wildebeests were jumping into the water. "It's now or never," said Jack. He took a deep breath, and he pulled really hard. Just then, a shadow passed over them. Jack looked up. "Uh-oh," he said. A huge vulture circled overhead. A vulture is like a great big bird, and they eat dead animals. "It thinks you're near the end," said Jack. "Oh, get out of here," shouted Annie. "I'm fine." In a burst of fury, she let go of the branch. She lunged for the roots and grabbed them. "Yes!" cried Jack. "Pull! Slowly, Annie pulled herself out. She was covered with the black mud from head to toe. Jack helped her onto the bank, getting mud all over himself. So look, here's the river. There's Annie and Jack, and they're all muddy. Here's the wildebeests that are jumping in the water. And here's the vulture, the bird that was circling up above. "See?" Annie shook her fist at the vulture. "I'm fine. Now beat it." But the giant ugly bird still circled. "Come on, let's get away from him," said Jack. He pushed his glasses into place. "Rats," he said. Now his glasses were all muddy. He tried to clean his hands in the grass. "Oh no!" shouted Annie. Jack turned to her. "The wildebeest will get stuck in the mud hole too." She waved her arms at the wildebeest struggling to swim across the river. "Not here," she shouted. "Not here." But the frantic swimmers kept coming. So all the wildebeests are coming in the water, and Annie doesn't want them to come in because she thinks that they're going to get stuck too. Chapter 5 is called Ha Ha. I think we'll keep going a little bit. That was a short chapter. Oh, no, 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 shouted Annie. She raced down the riverbank until she reached a sandy, clear spot. Over here, she called. The wildebeest followed her with wild eyes. Jack watched in disbelief as the swimmers changed their course. Slowly, all the wildebeests were swimming to where Annie was standing. She waved them in like a traffic policeman. Jack grabbed his backpack. Annie, he said, let's go before we get trampled. Keep it up, she shouted to the wildebeest, and she took off after Jack. They ran further up the river, away from the incoming wildebeests. Finally, they stopped to catch their breath. They looked back. Everything seemed fine. The wildebeests were scrambling safely over the riverbank. Soon they would graze on the grass prepared by the zebras. Good work, Jack said to Annie. Thanks, she said. Okay, now for our riddle. No, first we've got to get clean, said Jack. You look like you're wearing a mud suit. High-pitched laughter rang through the air. It sounded mocking and mean. Jack and Annie turned around. They saw two spotted brown animals standing in the tall grass. The creatures had bodies like dogs, but with sloping backs. They laughed again. What animal do you think lives in Africa that's laughing? This is giving me a connection to the Lion King movie. Ha ha, said Annie. You don't look so great yourself. What are they? Said Jack. He took out the book. He tried not to get mud on it as he looked for a picture. When he found it, he read aloud. On the African plains, the hyena is the ruling predator after the lion. It makes a sound similar to a high-pitched human laugh. What's predator mean? Said Annie. Did you guess that it was hyenas too? It means it catches things and eats them, said Jack. Oh, said Annie. Yuck. The two hyenas laughed again, and they moved closer to Jack and Annie. Quietly, Jack read more. The hyena has a reputation for being a thief and a coward. Well, said Annie, let's see if they're cowards. Let's try to scare them. The hyenas laughed and moved a little closer. How? Asked Jack. Act like a monster, said Annie. Now! Jack and Annie made terrible monster faces. They put out their hands and rushed at the hyenas. Ah! They shouted. Do you think it's going to work? Do you think that the hyenas will get them? We'll have to read next time and find out. Here's Jack and Annie making their monster faces at the hyenas. Okay, first grade, we'll see what happens. Thanks for reading with me. Goodbye.